Okay, we are waiting for the lawyers to send in the cases from the magistrate room. This is the time and date for Friday morning criminal misdemeanor pretrials. They're usually a very busy day, and the lawyers are meeting in another space, and they'll be sending people in. I've got a couple people on the queue right now. Good morning. You're on mute.
I probably messed this up. I'm supposed to get on with Mark, aren't I?
You are. There's an issue with Miss Fetch. I sent you that email.
Yeah, I just saw the warrant list from Dave this morning. Do you know who the victim is on that one?
No, I don't, but Mark
Okay.
does. So,
Okay.
do you have 696-569-5626?
I should have talked to the boss about it, Jordan, and found out what I was supposed to do. But as soon as I got on, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm supposed to be on with.
They're all there. Tim and Debbie and Casey, and they're all there. So anyway,
Okay.
I'll
All right.
see you.
See you in a little bit then.
All right, thank you.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else out there is having this problem. The Learned League is not up this morning. Nope. All right, we've got one guy in the waiting room, and we've got a couple other pleas, I think, that are ready to go as soon as the lawyers come in. Good morning, Ms. Fetch. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
All right, your lawyer, Christine Yancey, is here in the magistrate space. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. I'll let her know that you're here, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we got a couple more people. Let's see who this person is. Good morning, Galaxy A10. Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
Henderson.
What's your first name? All right, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Give me just a sec.
Okay.
Who's your attorney?
Tim George.
All right. I've got your file here. And he will be in shortly.
Okay.
I've been expecting you to be here. All right, you're very good. I'll put you in the waiting room and I'll see you in just a moment.
Great. Thank
There you
you.
go, Ross.
Hey, you got a second?
Yeah, well, I'm turned on, but I'm bringing in Joe C. too.
Okay.
Good morning. Mr. Henderson is here with us. Mr. Christ is here. We'll do Mr. Henderson, and then I'll give you an opportunity to talk to Mr. Christ.
Thank you, Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Are you Austin Michael Gavin Henderson? I can't hear you. Okay. You may have to get closer to the mic.
Okay.
This is file 21923SM. It's alleged that on or about May 3rd, let me click this up, that you assaulted Summer Henderson in the village of Burr Oak. It's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500.
Not sure what's gonna happen with that.
All right, we'll find out. The floodgates have opened and the cases are starting to come in here. The prosecutor has offered what's known as a domestic violence deferral offer. There's a special statute under the penal code, that is where it is, might be under the Code of Criminal Procedure, that in domestic violence cases allows a first-time, one-time offer for a probation, and if you successfully complete the probation, there would be no public record of conviction, and essentially they would take the conviction off your record. Do you understand, Mr. Henderson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me tell you this, and this goes to you also, Mr. Chris. Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There'll be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. George has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent, if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than what was said here, has anyone promised you anything to get you to plead to this,
No.
or threatened you?
No.
Have you ever been convicted of a domestic violence?
No, sir.
All right. Who is Summer Henderson to you?
My mother.
All right. Tell me what happened.
So, we were cooking eggs, and she came off of fentanyl, and the night before she was scared of overdosing on it. But she had came out pale as a white curtain, and she started just screaming at my girlfriend. And so she came at my girlfriend, and I don't really remember if she grabbed her by the shirt or was about to, and she said she was gonna effing kill her, and drew a fist, so I pushed her really hard. And after that, we just left the house.
So you pushed her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where are you staying now?
Butler, Indiana.
All right. Well, there's certainly more to this story that I'm going to need to understand. What do you do, Mr. Henderson?
I, like for work?
Yes.
Oh, I assemble nylon hoses for Civic Honda or Honda Civics.
What's the name of the company you work for?
TI Automotive.
Okay, good for you. I know Summer Henderson. Who's your dad?
Dan Henderson.
Okay. All right, well, the law requires that I set this out for at least 10 days. So let's find a day here. Today is June 11th. Tim, do you know if you have a Monday coming up? Monday morning, let's take a look.
Not this month, Your Honor, but I should be available. either the 21st or the 28th.
I didn't open this app this morning, so let's take a look. See what I got. The 28. June 28 would be fine. Does that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
11. Mr. Henderson, we're going to revisit this on Monday morning, June 28th at 11 a.m. It will be by Zoom like this once again.
Okay.
I'll get the police report and any information else that I need to know. And we'll take a look at this on June 28th
Okay, Your Honor.
at 11 a.m. Stay in contact with your lawyer, Mr. George. And if you have any questions, you contact him. And I'll see you on the 28th of June.
Okay.
All right, the no contact provision and other provisions are still in effect, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, you're good to go, Austin. I'll remove you here. All right, now I've got a couple people to bring in. I've got Jordan. Do you want to talk to Mr. Chris now, Tim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Tullis also should be checking in. That'll be brief, though.
All right, well, let's see who these people are. Galaxy A10. Doug, is that you? Well, I'm reluctant to bring the next person in until we get him squared away. Christine, do you need to talk to Julie Fetch in a breakout room?
No, Your Honor, we're just ready to get her arraigned if we can. On the
As
new
soon
map.
as I get Tim squared away, we'll take that one up.
All right.
Good morning,
thank you.
sir. Is that you, Mr. Tullis? Jordan, we're going to find out if your client is here also. Deborah, do you know if there is a warrant out for Kimberly Arnold in the circuit court?
I feel like I saw her name on the warrants that were issued the other day, so let me.
Galaxy Tab A, can you hear me? Sir? Can you hear me? Joe, you don't need to do anything about this. You're just fine right where you are. Just stay put. I'm trying to get this guy connected. Turn your audio on. Or if you speak Spanish, por favor.
It shows that it's on now.
He says
You just
All right,
muted.
all right. Now you need to unmute it. If you click off the mute button, we'll be good. You're getting close. All right, there's a little red microphone with a slash. All right, there you go. Can you hear me now? No. I thought we were there. Can you hear me, sir? All right, well, while we're tap dancing with him, let's see who this is.
Your Honor, would it make sense for me to go into a breakout with Mr. Christ while we're trying to get
Yes,
Just
certainly.
figure it out.
Well, if it was Mr. Tullis, I thought we could just take care of that piece of business, but he's struggling, so I guess he can wait.
Okay.
Galaxy A1, is that you, Kimberly? Well, Mr. Christ, I'm going to put you in a space where you can talk to your lawyer, Mr. George. I think he's going to discuss a plea offer with you. Tim, George, and Joe C. Maybe. All right, Galaxy Tab A we're struggling with, and Galaxy A1. Who is Galaxy A1?
Your Honor, I did
Oh.
check the ROA on Miss Arnold in her circuit court case number 1822104FH. She failed to appear on 6/8 and a petition was filed, bench warrant issued.
What's that number again?
18-22104FH.
All right, well, let's bring in Julie Fetch, and we'll deal with those while we're struggling with the other folks. Good morning. Are you Julie Ann Fetch?
Yes, I am.
This is Judge Middleton. We've met before. Your lawyer, Christine Yancey, is here with us. Also, Deborah Davis from the prosecutor's office is here. And I will tell you, we're live on YouTube. We're on the Zoom platform, and we are recording this. This is the time and date for a pretrial in an original domestic violence charge. And there is another case where there's a warrant out presently for your arrest. So let's start with the case that was actually scheduled for today, file 21957SM. You've obtained attorney Christine Yancey, and that is 2 counts of domestic violence alleging that on or about May 11th that you assaulted Ralph Fetch. That's your dad. And I'm going to indicate that. Christine, I understand what we're simply going to ask is set that for a last pretrial.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, there's a new case, file 211192SM. It's alleged that on or about May 15th that you assaulted Betty Fetch, who is your mother. It says the troopers were dispatched to a domestic assault in progress. We interviewed Julie Fetch. She said she'd been arguing with her parents over money. Gavin Fetch told the troopers that your mother, that you hit and choked your mother and pulled some of her hair out. And so that is a new charge, and there's presently a warrant for your arrest. Ms. Fetch, where are you staying?
In a hotel
Where's your son?
with my parents.
Your house there at the bottom of the big hill on 131 has been a hotbed of family discord for some time. You and your parents are in there, and there have been multiple allegations of assault on your part. Ms. Davis, what do you want me to do with this new charge?
Well, Your Honor, this occurred before she was arrested on the other charge. I understand she had some health issues, had just had surgery, and so she was not arrested right away. She posted bond. She appeared here today. It's my understanding that CPS is involved. She's been cooperative from what Ms. Yancey is reporting. We have had some contact from her parents expressing concern about them not having the ability to have her take them to their medical appointments and things like that. It's a very difficult situation. Typically, we have a no contact in these. And until we have the victims come in and have a hearing, I think the no contact should stay in place.
Well, she's not a flight risk. To my knowledge, she always appears. I believe she's retained Ms. Yancey. Ms. Yancey isn't yet counseled in the new case, but I'm going to set bond at $250 PR. You're going to need to get fingerprinted and mugshotted. No contact, same conditions as earlier bond.
Your Honor, I would ask to treat this as the pretrial. Ms. Davis and I spoke about that, and let's just set this for last pretrial with the other instead of having.
That makes sense.
I will just file an appearance, Your Honor, on this one, just for the court's records. But we would like to set that hearing because she is staying in a hotel. It's becoming quite expensive. I would like to set something with the parents to come in to talk about contact provision.
All right.
They've called the office, and I know they've called the prosecutor's office as well.
And this is a situation of you can't live with them and can't live without them. Ralph, your father, was a classmate of Judge Noecker, and I had met him over the years. He would come to see Judge Noecker here, and they'd joke around with each other. Don't really know him other than through the context of this. But yeah, you're staying in a hotel. Do you have any income?
I'm on disability. I've had to open up another credit card just to be able to, because I actually help my parents pay some of their bills.
Yes, it's a very complicated situation. I'm going to recall the warrant in 211192SM. You need to be printed. You'll need to go to the jail and get your fingerprints taken to record this. That's one of the things they need to do to get the warrant out of the lien so you don't get picked up on this. Do you have more medical appointments?
Me, myself?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I mean, I have chronic medical, I have immune deficiency and Addison's disease. And I have ongoing appointments all the time for myself.
All right, I'm aware of your medical problems. This is a case without a ready apparent solution, but obviously there are continuing allegations of assault going on there, and that's not good. All right, I'm not going to have you lodged at this point. You got arrested, bonded out, and then this warrant came in later. But you stay in contact with Ms. Yancey. She's going to file an appearance in the new case, and you're going to need to go to the jail in Centerville and get your fingerprints taken.
Chris,
All right.
I would be willing to waive the typical time requirements for notice if you want to try to get this set quicker than the 10 days.
Thank you.
I don't know if judge is available.
Yeah, I'm available. We'll set it
Mondays.
ASAP.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fetch, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does that finish you, Christine?
Yes, I'll just call the clerks to get a date then.
Well, I'll work on it here from this
Oh.
end.
Okay.
Laura's not here today, but,
Okay.
all right. Galaxy A1. Kimberly, is that you? I believe it is. She's frozen in addition to wafting smoke. Kimberly, could you unmute your microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Oops, that's the other guy. We still haven't figured out who that is. I think it's Doug Tullis. Joe. All right, Kimberly, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, your lawyer Jordan Yancey is here with me, and so is prosecutor Deborah Davis. Jordan had emailed me earlier in the week and said, I haven't heard anything from Kimberly. I'm trying to get a hold of her. I don't know what she wants to do, and I'm a little worried. So this morning at 8:30, I guess you contacted her. Jordan, what would you like me to do here?
Well, Your Honor, I did get a chance to touch base with Ms. Arnold. She reports she would ask the court either for an adjournment or to set this for a last pretrial so she can contact the Secretary of State and try to get things straightened out with her driver's license.
All right. I'm going to set a last pretrial. Kimberly, you need to stay in better contact with your lawyer. Also, you need to know that Judge Stutzman has issued a warrant for your arrest.
Yeah.
You failed to appear on June 8th, and that's 3 days ago. You need to take care of that, okay?
I will. It's just a $50. I've just recently had some serious stuff go on, and I just kind of been scattered.
Yes, you've been struggling. All right. Yeah, you failed to appear for a show cause. It's a matter of $50.
Yeah, I'll take care of that today.
All right. We'll set this for a last pretrial. I don't know that you're making any great progress on your license, but we'll set that and then you're free to go. Stay in better contact with your lawyer and contact the court before you get arrested on that warrant, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's gonna come in as a plea.
All right, just a second.
That's gonna be a plea. This one, kind of a sovereign citizen claim, but you might be able to make some progress. Lori's gonna check in.
Oh, no, I've got a sentencing with him on Monday.
Okay.
All right,
Lori's
thank you.
gonna connect with you on that.
All right, now, we're still struggling here. Galaxy Tab A, is that, Jordan, does that finish you?
I think so. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
All right. I believe that's Doug Tullis, but let's work on Mr. Joseph Christ. While we're waiting, he's been very patient. This is file 202884. Mr. Christ, you're charged with assault and battery. It's alleged that on or about December 13th of 20, you assaulted Douglas or Bobby Fairbanks and Mike Kendall.
Well, that's the officer, Candall.
Bob Fairbanks, yeah. Is there a plea offer here, Deborah?
There's not, Your Honor. It's just as charged.
All right, Mr. George, what are we going to do here? Tim, did you offer disturbing the peace?
I got into negotiation with the prosecutor, but she was pretty clear that there was no type of plea offer here. So as such, we'll simply just set this for last pretrial.
All right. That was a long way to go for that. Mr. Christ, I thought perhaps we had a resolution here. We don't. Are you still at your 3rd Street address?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. How close are you to Dad's place?
It's pretty close.
I haven't been there in a while because of the pandemic, but it's time to go out for breakfast here soon. All right, you stay in contact with your lawyer, and I'm sorry we didn't get a resolution here. If need be, the matter can be tried on its facts, but for now, we're going to set a pretrial before jury, and you'll get notice of that from your attorney. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Christ.
Have a good weekend, Joe.
You too, both of you. Thank you.
All right, we'll move Joe C here. All right, now, we're still struggling there. Mr. Tullis, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I thought we got close.
I believe he has nodded in the affirmative, though, Your Honor, when you
Yeah, you
asked.
can hear. All right, well then let me tell you what the deal is. Your lawyer, Mr. George, advised me that they have a conflict and he can't represent you, and we're going to have to get you a different attorney. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. And we just found the conflict yesterday. Obviously, we didn't have enough time to get anything submitted to the court time for today. So I spoke with Mr. Tullis, explained the situation to him. Obviously told him it's nothing that he did. It's just something on our end. So we wanted to put this on the record to make sure that we get that moving along.
All right, we'll reset the pretrial for 7/2/21 at 9:30 due to attorney conflict. We're going to be very busy on July 2nd, but that's all right. July 2nd, we're going to reschedule this, Mr. Tullis. We'll get a new attorney. We'll send you that information. Mr. George, I'm not sure what the conflict is, but I trust him as an officer of the court. There's some sort of conflict. And we'll get a new attorney and reset this. Nod, are you still out on Floating Bridge Road? Okay. The bridge isn't floating anymore, but there's vestiges of it out there. All right, Mr. Tullis, you're good to go. We'll get you your new lawyer, and thank you. All right, I'll remove him. Thumbs up. All right, thanks.
Listen up.
Well, one-way communication, but all right, now let's see. We've got Jacob Eccleston in the waiting room. I'm not sure what he's about. Let's bring him in, and then we'll talk about your other cases.
Judge, are you not the one doing the cases on July 2nd? Because we have that bench trial reset on Pontius for July 2nd.
July 2nd is a Friday.
I'm pretty sure the notice of hearing said the 2nd, because I feel like you pick the week, like the day right before a holiday every time for Pontius. So
I don't know why that would have been set on a Friday morning. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's certainly getaway day, isn't it? I think
for
maybe.
me and my officer that has to testify now.
I don't think it. If it's set for Friday, June 2nd or July 2nd, it's a mistake.
Notice for non-jury trial, 7/2/21 at 9 a.m. I thought you just really disliked me a lot and wanted to set it right on a holiday.
Well, it could have been at 3 p.m.
I mean, it could have been worse, right?
That's a mistake.
Okay. Good.
Why? I want to make sure I didn't do that. Gee whiz.
Because both there's a motion to suppress that's set at
Yes.
9 a.m. and then the non-jury trial. Because we did a stip in order to adjourn the last one.
I thought he was going to plead.
Well, I mean, I would hope so, but who knows?
Yeah, we would set this at 4 o'clock. We'll move it.
No.
I had a nice talk with him the last time. I think I let him out of jail. Maybe not.
I think he just reduced his bond, but
Did.
he seemed good
No.
that day.
4. Stipulation to adjourn, signed order to adjourn bench trial to July 2nd. I don't know, but that should not be on the middle of a first Friday pretrial date, so we'll have to explore that. We
The next one
never-
available is probably the day before Labor Day, so if that's scheduled.
At 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock. Well, I think we needed 2 hours, so maybe 3.
All right, anyway, we'll check into that.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Eccleston. Thank you for waiting. We're just going to keep plugging away here on a couple of other matters. We'll check into that. Usually when there's a screw up like that, I'm the one that did it, but I can't tell. So we've got Jamie Ketchum, who does not appear to be here yet. We have Storm Swartz, who did not appear. Let's call him.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voice mailbox that has not been set up yet.
Well attempted to call. Any contact with that client, Mr. George?
Your Honor, you just had the same contact that I had.
All right. Do a bench warrant, hold 48 hours. This is an assaultive case, $500 cash or surety.
I believe this is no valid ops, Your Honor.
Oh, it is. I don't know what I was looking at. $200 cash or surety. He'd missed some things before. The last time I talked to him, he was driving his car while we were talking to him. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking, no wonder. I'm looking at Ketchum. $100 cash or surety, no contact with attorney. I was on the Ketchum file. All right, Storm Swartz tried to call, no luck. All right, Joshua Clemens is in our waiting room. Mr. Eccleston, which case are you here on? You need to unmute your mic.
I'm here on Clemens
Oh, all right, very good.
for the village.
Okay. All right, we'll stay right where you are for a sec. Michael Hopkins is a no-show. What do we know about that one, Tim?
Your Honor, in the information that my office received, we didn't have any contact, phone number or anything. Obviously, we did send out the notice. and haven't had any contact from him either.
All right, this is another no ops. Bench warrant, $200 cash or surety, hold 48 hours. All right, Mr. Ketchum, was he going to be logging in? Oh, that's Lori Hines, so that's not yours. Does that finish your morning, Tim?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck. You got a lot on your plate, so I'll let you go take care of your other business. Maybe we'll meet your new Nora here soon.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, Tim.
See ya.
All right, now let's bring in Joshua Clements. Oh, I need John Bush. Mr. Clemens, we don't have your attorney here with us yet, so I'm gonna, can you hear me? Here's John Bush. Mr. Clemens, you appear to be in a near-Earth orbit somewhere over the Iberian Peninsula. I see Spain and Portugal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Your lawyer, Mr. Bush, is here with us. Jacob Eccleston is here also on behalf of the village. Let me pull this ticket up. Good morning, Mr. Bush.
Morning.
How's everything in Sturgis?
It's quiet today, man.
Yeah, that's good. This is a colon village ticket, driving left of center and driving suspended second. Part of it got charged under statute and part of it, I think, is under ordinance.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know there was anything under ordinance. I just got an offer from
the ordinance is left of center. Mr. Eccleston, what firm are you with?
With Bauckham Sparks, Your Honor. I'm just covering for Seth Coaches today.
All right, so Bauckham Sparks has taken up criminal representation for the village of Colon?
Yes, Your Honor.
They had a really good lawyer and they lost him. And so that's interesting. I didn't know you guys did much criminal stuff.
Mostly we do it in Kalamazoo. Seth Coaches is just double booked today, so he asked me to.
All right. Well, thank you for waiting for us. All right, I assume that the village charge is going to be dismissed. Is that correct, Mr. Bush?
I don't think it was ever I didn't realize there was one. So I don't know.
All right. Deborah, do you know what the plea offer is here? It just says, plead DWLS first, dismiss the civil infraction. Are you squared away with that, Mr. Eccleston?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, Your Honor.
Is that what the plea agreement is as far as you know, Mr. Bush?
Yeah. Again, I didn't know of that civil infraction, but it was DWLS first. I thought there was a civil infraction with the county that was being dismissed.
No, it's this village. So we'll
I apologize to the village prosecutor. I didn't realize that.
All right, I brought in Attorney Hines and Mr. Ketchum. Mr. Clemens, you and I think, have met at your original arraignment, but let me tell you what the deal is here. You're charged with driving suspended second offense. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Carries 2 points and requires that your license be suspended. The other charge, driving left of center, is a civil infraction with a $130 fine. That's being dismissed. The prosecutor is also reducing the driving suspended to a first offense. DWLS first is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points on your record once again, but it requires that your license be further suspended. Let's take a look. Ms. Ketchum will be with you in a moment here.
Okay.
Don't put your makeup and stuff on. You're here on Zoom and YouTube, so I'll blank out your screen and we'll be back here in a minute. All right. Anyway, Mr. Clemens, let me get back to your matter here. Take a look at your driving record. You're revoked. From a DWLS from 2019 on some real old drinking driving stuff. You are on what I call the driving suspended merry-go-round, and it's going to be hard for you to get back off of it. Do you understand, if you plead to this charge, that you will continue to have a suspended license?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Ketchum, this applies to you as well. Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury? There'll be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Jamie, just remain quiet and I'll come to you in a bit. Do you understand that if you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney? Mr. Bush has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand all that?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Were you driving a car in the village of Colon? You live on Swan Street on April 25th?
I believe it was April 25th, yes.
Where were you going?
I was going to the store.
And was your license suspended?
Yes, sir.
Whose car were you driving?
My wife.
You're one of those guys who lives in a little town. It happens in Three Rivers and Sturgis, but in the smaller villages like Colon, every time you drive, they know you're suspended and they're going to pull you over. You can't even drive to Dollar General or something because your license is suspended. I'm just going to do a fine here, but it's going to be expensive. $125 fine, a $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 attorney fee. That's $400.
I could do that with payments, or?
Yes, you can do it with a payment plan. Anyway, you got to stop driving. And certainly stop driving in Colon, where every time you turn around, they'll pull you over. And so, you got any questions?
No, sir. Not
right.
that I can think of.
We'll send you that information regarding the plea agreement. $50 per month, starting July 15th. Give you some time. All right.
I don't get my unemployment. I I think it's this Wednesday coming up, like next week. And then
Okay.
it's every 2 weeks after that, so,
All right, that, you ought to be able to set some money aside between now and July 15.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Eccleston.
Thanks, Mr.
Thank
Bush.
you, Your Honor.
All right, that takes care of John. Lori and Jamie, why don't you come back? Jamie, I'm gonna turn your camera back on. I think you may have to do it at your end, Jamie. There you go, thank you.
You're welcome.
What for? I've set him for a last pretrial.
Oh, I don't know.
Did you have a number
All right.
for him?
Yeah.
Lori, are you ready?
Yeah, my assistant just gave me a note about Jason Walters, and he said he was gonna log in, but he told me he didn't want to plead to anything. So do you want to log in or not?
Yeah, I want him to log in.
All right, Grace, don't call him then. Thank you. Sorry, I'm ready, Your Honor.
All right. This is Jamie Yvonne Ketchum. Ms. Ketchum, you and I have met over the years. It's Judge Middleton here in Centerville. You're with your attorney, Lori Hines. You're charged with domestic violence, second offense. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to $1,000. The prosecutor is represented here by attorney Deborah Davis, who no longer represents Colin.
She's got a bigger job to do.
And
We only have like 5 cases a year anyway that people didn't plead on and call them, so. Our police are too nice over there. Don't give
all
them
right.
to.
She
The
wanted
allegation
more work.
here is that you assaulted HN, a resident or former resident of your household, and that you have a prior conviction. I went through the rights. Domestic violence first offense is that 93-day misdemeanor. You're not eligible for the deferral because it's a second offense. And I understand this is your stepdaughter and there's some issues there.
Yeah.
I won't be able to set this for sentencing today because the law requires that I set it at least 10 days away to get input from the complainant. Do you understand the plea agreement?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And other than that, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, they did not.
Or threaten you?
No, they did not.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Heaven's 15, this is my ex's daughter that lives with me. And my kids have been out of control. I had a stroke in February 8th. So it kind of, I mean, I'm not making excuses, but I can cry at the drop of a hat, just fly off the handle. I've been in counseling. My kids are in counseling through CPS services. And I'm trying to work through this emotional roller coaster I'm on.
Well, what was the argument about this day, which was March 16?
Her dog.
All right, did you end up coming to blows with her?
Yes, we both did.
She got scratched also, and then her brother had to break it up?
Yes.
So you had Charles's kids. Are they still with you or are they somewhere else?
HN is Charles's daughter. Yes, she is still with me and my son.
But Charles is not there?
No, he is not. He is in Elkhart, Indiana.
So this is a strange situation here. All right, let's find a place to put this. Deborah, do you have victim the contact here?
Oh, well, I think she's living in the same
Yeah, I
house.
guess it'd be
There's
hard
no,
to
I'm
find.
gonna guess, I don't see a victim impact statement that was filled out. We do have CPS involvement. I can have the CPS worker maybe touch base.
All
with
right,
them.
that would be very helpful. How about
That's
Monday, June
Miranda
11th?
Foster, Debbie. Miranda
Okay.
Foster is the CPS worker that is working with the family, Your Honor, and Debbie.
Okay, I will touch base with her and see if maybe she can assist with the victim impact statement or getting him, have him here.
Jamie, did you do the anger management program, the women's program last time?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
I thought you did, and you told me you thought you got a lot out of it.
I did get a lot out of it. I did. It just, like I said, I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying I didn't do it. It's just, since my stroke, even my own family says I'm not myself.
All right, well, let's set this fourth sentence for June 21. Summer is fleeting by at 11. We get the police report and CPS input. I'm open to suggestions as to what to do here. We did do the anger management. I thought she did a nice job in it. She and I discussed it a couple of times. I'm not sure if the medical issues have changed her personality. I don't know. But Jamie, we'll talk further about this on June 21st at 11 a.m. That works for you, Lori?
Yep, I already have another sentencing that same date and time, so that is fine.
I thought so. All right, Ms. Ketchum, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Now, we need Sean Carson Moore from the jail.
Did Jason Walters log on, Your Honor?
Not yet.
Okay.
Do we need anyone else from the jail?
Cookie, how can I help you, Judge Middleton?
Hey, good morning to you, sir. Deborah Davis would like to know if we could see Sean Nicholas Carson Moore, please.
Yeah, sure. She's kind of needy. She needs a lot all the time.
She's pretty demanding, but
Yeah.
could you help us, please?
We can.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Bye. They do it for you, they don't do it for me, so that's why I always tell them it's what you want. Mr. Moore is set for sentencing on Monday. Judge Pattison just dealt with him on some other things. He is in jail, and he has been in jail for
Your Honor, when I talked to him, he was claiming to be a sovereign citizen. I was the attorney in the matter with Judge Pattison. I've done a lot of work with Sean. He was very combative the day that I addressed him about this. So I just told him that we would get him on and then go from there as far as how he wanted to proceed. I never know how to find him. That's the problem.
Yes, well, sovereign citizen is new. He's been in jail 32 days. He's got a sentencing on Monday.
Is this the only thing holding him in jail?
No, I think his Monday case is. Let's take a look. He wrote me a kite and asked me to
The
accelerate
PPO
it.
was time served, so that is not holding him anymore.
But he was likely to get time served on Monday on well, I don't know, he's got a use of meth charge. Now I've got Mark Hansen. I'm not sure who he is.
He was going, now Jason was going to a neighbor's house, so that might be the neighbor.
Oh, this is Sally Powers, conservator.
Yeah, this is Sally Powers.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Hansen.
Good morning.
You're in the right place, and I think it's the right day. I'll just mute your mic, and you can watch us a little bit and see how we conduct our business. Thank you for coming back. All right, I've got Abacab, Adrian UCAB Andrews. ABCAB is the chord progression in that song, and that's why the album was called Abacab. Anybody wondered?
I always wondered. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Lay awake at night worrying about that. Covered it.
All right, let's get Mr. Barnes in. Oh, he got an updated picture. Good morning, John. Mr. UCAB Andrews, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. This is Judge Middleton. Just stay right where you are.
Okay.
I'm going to mute the mic, but we got a good connection. I can see you well, so stay right there. We got Jammin. I think this is Jamila McFerrin. Jamila, is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me give you a name here. I'll be with you in just a moment. Would you ask Mark to stick his head in? Yeah.
Would I do what?
Ask Mark to stick his head in. Sheriff, we haven't got them hooked up yet. Debbie, what did we do with Johann Brooks? He's in custody, isn't he?
I have not seen anything on him.
Could I have Jason Walter?
Who's the attorney?
Lori Hines.
Oh, I think I wrote that in. Well, let me go check.
Wait a minute. I don't, if I had it, I'd bury it under here.
Okay, I'll look.
You need to change it.
We're ready for Mr. Carson Moore.
Yeah, because I thought it was last pretrial.
All right.
There are two cases there.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Moore. This is file 21934ST, People versus Sean Carson Moore. Sean, you had a bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to see you Monday on your other case. Judge Pattison just completed all of your cases. You're charged here with driving suspended second offense and no insurance. Deborah, is there a plea offer here?
If he pled to the driving suspended second, we would dismiss the insurance.
All right. Sean, my inclination would be to give you time served on this charge if you enter a plea to driving suspended second offense. By my count, you've been in jail, I think, 32 days. The prosecutor will dismiss the no insurance charge, which will save you $150. This will continue to suspend your driver's license, however. What do you wish to do on this?
I just wanted to push it back so I can get out.
Well, I'm going to see you on Monday on that other case. You sent me that kite, but I waited to see what Judge Pattison was going to do, and we're going to deal with that other case on Monday. I know you want to get back to work, but the prosecutor has really offered to dismiss the civil infraction. I made a further offer to give you time served if you enter a plea today. You don't have to. If
What other case are we talking about, Middleton?
You have that meth case on Monday.
Can you ask Mr. Barnes to check into my queue, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
John, could you check in with Mark on the other side there? And then come back. We're still waiting on Mr. Valentine and all of our other stuff. Did you get those emails that we exchanged on Valentine?
Yes, I did.
All right, thank you. I'll see.
Yeah, the notice said to sign into your thing, so I'll jump over into Mark.
Double duty, I guess. All right, anyway, I'm sorry, Mr. Moore. You and I have known each other for a long time, and I've always gotten along with you. We've had our disagreements over the years, but I made an additional offer to time served. It will put an additional suspension on your driving record. But I don't see the point of leaving you in jail indefinitely on a driving charge. You already owe a bunch of money. I'm going to assess the minimum allowable fine. So does that change your mind about what you want to do on this driving suspended charge?
The only reason this driving while license suspended charge is even bothering me is because I have no way literally to get my driver's license.
I know. You are in the black pit of driver license appeal, and you got so much baggage on there. Many years ago, before you were born, they had a procedure you could go through in the circuit court to get a hardship license, but that process is long since gone. The only way to get it is going through the driver license appeal division. So I can't fix it. I can't wave my magic wand and give you a license to drive back and forth to work or groceries. You are in the hole and you can't get out. So the best I can do is offer to give you time served and the minimal fine. If you want to do that, we can do it right now. If you don't want to do it, we can set it for further proceedings.
What about this bond right now? Because the only reason I'm saying anything about a bond is because literally I have all of my stuff inside of the vehicle right now. I have no job. I mean, all of my stuff is due to my vehicle. And through my driving my license suspended, you guys were supposed to, they were supposed to do a inventory of all of my equipment.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm going to see you Monday on, who's your lawyer in that case? With Mr. Bush on the meth case. We can do it then. I don't want to make you do something you don't want to do, Sean. If you want to take the plea, we'll do it now. I'll give you time served. If you don't want to do it, I can set it for our last pretrial.
I mean, if your owner's just going to give him time served, I mean, Sean, if it makes you feel better, it can be a driving suspended first offense instead of a second.
All right, so the offer is DWLS first. Sean, does that change your mind?
What, from a suspended first to, can I be honest, all the way honest?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not trying to get out of no cases for just to get out of the case. That's not what's going on here. But I am very considering being a sovereign citizen. Well, I feel like I am a sovereign citizen, and that driving while suspended, a driver's license is one of the things that I believe that I don't think that I should get charged with driving while license suspended. Now, a domestic is another thing, you know what I'm saying? Because a domestic is a whole different other case, and I can take a domestic because that's actually putting your hands on somebody or being accused of it. But when it comes to sovereignty, I feel as though I've been a part of you guys' community, a part of you guys' county for well over 20 years. I don't have a 401k plan, and I don't really have an action plan on how to be successful. I feel I feel as though the state of Michigan and me being a part of your state of Michigan and emancipated as well as a sovereign citizen in your state, that I'm a product of my environment. I have no way of literally having a successful life after this right now due to myself, because I have a major bill that's dealing with the state. And the only people who I really owe right now in this world is the St. Joseph County Jail. And after being a part of you guys' community and a part of this jail for so long, I feel like I've asked for help. I've asked for everything as far as to better my life. If I plead guilty to this charge, it's almost like I'm saying, hey, I can give up my right for sovereign citizenship, and it's a lot more to it. But I mean, I can't get into it because I really don't know sovereign citizenship neither.
Well, I don't know where you're getting your information. There's a lot of sovereign citizen stuff out there. Most of it is completely without merit. There's no innate right to, there is a right to travel, there isn't a right to drive. And they've suspended, so I have a bunch of other cases pending, Sean, and I'm gonna talk to you further on Monday. So I don't wanna debate the philosophy of fractured sovereign citizen. I'm sorry if you're gonna end up going down that path. As I said, you and I have always gotten along just fine. I can't do any more than what I just offered to give you time served and a minimum fine. You were driving a car on
Your Honor, we would accept a no contest plea if that's less offensive to you, Mr. Carson Moore.
All right, Sean, you could even plead no contest. By pleading no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you don't deny what happened, and you allow or accept that a conviction will enter. Are you willing to do that as sort of a middle ground?
And Deborah, what does that actually do for me?
It puts a conviction on your record, but you don't plead guilty. You allow or accept that a conviction would enter.
It would resolve this case so that you don't have to keep coming back here every couple of months until we can have a trial, which may not be until, who knows, a year maybe. You would continue on bond on this case until it's resolved. So either with a plea or a trial. And the severity of this case is quite low. So you're not going to be first to get a trial date. So the no contest plea would be that basically a conviction will enter on your record, but you don't have to admit to the judge as a plea that you did anything wrong. The judge would look at the police report and determine whether or not you could potentially be found guilty by a jury or him as the trier of fact. So again, I have no objection to the courts just giving you time served and this entering on your record. And then this case would be resolved. We did do a nollie on that stalking.
Okay, the stalking was nollied.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, she explained what I explained.
Moving sentence today, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now no content.
All right. And the ticket indicates you were driving on that day, and your driving record indicates your license was suspended. Let me look at the jail roster again to get your days correct. 32 days, credit 32 days.
75. We're going to keep all that the same at 43,000 like this. I really just want to get in and get to my car.
Say that again. I didn't catch. What were you asking?
And as far as my bond for 43,000, we can't take care of that because it's pretty hot. I just want to get to my car and get my stuff out of my car.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about that on Monday. Your attorney, Mr. Bush, will be here. You've still got a case pending. We're going to deal with it on Monday. So the $125 or 2 days will get swallowed up by then. I'll see you on Monday and we'll have more time to spend on it. But this case is resolved with a no contest plea to DV first offense. 32 days credit.
Not DV, driving while license suspended.
DWLS, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Making sure.
All right, Sean, we'll have more time to discuss this on Monday, but that was a felony reduced to a misdemeanor. We're going to talk about it. I read your kite. I know you want to get out of there and get your stuff. But as far as Ms. Hines is concerned, this case is resolved. So I will see you on Monday morning. All right, thank you. All right, Lori, do you have another case?
Was Jason Walters present? Did he log in?
No, here's somebody named Eric Lard. Let's see who this person is.
He's set for today.
But no Jason Walters, so if you stick around for a minute. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Mr. Adrian UCAB Andrews is here. This is a Sturgis ordinance case. Mr. Andrews has been very patient. He's charged with operating while intoxicated. Is there a plea offer here to impaired?
Yeah, and can I go into a brief breakout room with just that again?
Yes, let me close the ones I got.
Thank you.
And assign Melissa Halleck and Adrian Andrews. All right, now we're waiting for several things. We're waiting for Sally Powers. And Ms. Powers is like a leaf in the wind. My hope was that she would be here today. Her attorney is Mr. Gibson. We have Jamila McFerrin, and her lawyer is Melissa. And we have Eric Lard, and his lawyer is Mr. Gibson. So here's Mr. Gibson. We got Mr. Barnes back. We have KIF2 iPad. Mr. Lard, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We do have. Thank
All
you.
right, stay right where you are.
Judge, are you done
Yes.
with me then?
Yes, if
Thank
your
you.
client shows up, I'll send you an email, okay?
Is this a misdemeanor?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. I'll keep my email open. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, iPad. Are you with Mr. Valentine?
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, wait. Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm over here. Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Tyrone Valentine, sir.
All right, Mr. Valentine, have a seat. I thought that was you.
Sorry.
You're fine. We'll get a name.
Sit down.
Are you from CMH?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right.
No,
He's with Pierce Spurt with ACT team.
Yes, and I was very pleased to hear that. All right, Mr. Valentine, just have a seat. We'll be with you in a moment.
Oh, you know what?
I'm gonna
the lawyer, you're wrong thing.
put him in the room for the time being. All right. Mr. Valentine, well, let's see what we got. Good morning, Mr. Gibson.
Good
Maybe
morning.
we'll do Mr. Valentine now. Let's bring him back. He's got multiple files, about 14 of them. Good morning, Mr. Valentine, once again.
Good morning.
I was very pleased to learn that you're plugged in with the ACT team. Probably a red, white, and blue Budweiser shirt isn't exactly the appropriate to wear.
Oh,
for
I'm
court.
sorry, sir.
We'll get it done. In file 21496, you're charged with being a disorderly person in Three Rivers on April 8th. You're charged with trespass in file 21545OM on March 12th. You're charged with disorderly person in file 216 34OM on March 21st. You're charged again with trespass on March 24th in file 21628. You also have two other cases, 728, 729. Anyway, Mr. Gibson is your lawyer, and Mr. Barnes is here from the city of Three Rivers. Mr. Valentine, we've had several discussions about all these things. Most of these are not exactly serious offenses. You just keep getting sideways with the police because of your mental illness. We went to considerable effort to get you some mental health treatment. I understand you went to Stonecliff facility in Detroit, inpatient. You're back and you're completely plugged into CMH, and the ACT team is working with you now. Mr. Barnes, you've been very active in this. Even though you're the prosecutor, you've been advocating for treatment for Mr. Valentine as opposed to simply continue to charge him with offenses. So is there an offer to resolve everything?
Well, Your Honor, what we've done in the past over the years is that if we could get more cooperation and communication from his ACT team member, I would be willing to work with them and do like a deferred prosecution on these cases. And then that would just kind of help hold that over his head and give them some leverage with him to comply with their aftercare treatment recommendations and things like that. And if he complies with his treatment plan and we have no further instances, then at that point in time, I would probably just move to dismiss these cases.
Well, there are about 14 of them.
There probably are.
I thought perhaps a plea offer to one case and dismiss all the others, and then I could put him on a probation where it's a condition of his probation that he cooperate.
Well, that would be fine too. If he wants to pick any one of these cases, open cases, plead guilty to that, we dismiss the others, and then you could work out the terms of probation requiring him to cooperate.
I'm very pleased that he is cooperating and connected to CMH. So, Paul, do you wish to discuss that separately with Mr. Valentine?
Yeah.
The plea offer is he pleaded one offense, no jail. I put him on probation. The condition of probation is he continue to cooperate with CMH and take all medication as directed. And all the other charges would be dismissed. And then, if he continues to cooperate and take his medication as directed, there won't be any jail, and all the cases would be resolved. Mr. Valentine, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you willing to do that, or would you like to talk to your attorney?
I'm willing to do that. Can I plead guilty to the trespassing charge?
Yeah, that would be fine. All right. Let me tell you this, Mr. Valentine. You seem very good today. You and I have had some struggles getting on the same page, but I'll get to this in a minute. Do you understand that if you plead to this trespass charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in any of these cases, and the others are all going to be dismissed?
May I say something, Your Honor?
Yes.
Well, I'm not from here, and the reason that I was arrested because I had purchased some coffee out the gas station. I was drinking it on the premises and smoking a cigarette, and they say I was trespassing, and I got kind of heated because I never heard nobody trespass by just drinking a cup of coffee.
Well, they had told you before not to come back, and so it's the fact that you went back there. If you plead to this, as I said, there won't be a trial. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Gibson is here with you. This is a big deal, Tyrone. We're going to get rid of all 14 of these cases. I'm not going to put you in jail, and I'm going to order you to cooperate with CMH. Other than that, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, sir.
Or threaten you?
No, sir.
All right. The trespass from March 12th, let's go with that one. And you told me you were there drinking a cup of coffee and smoking a cigarette after they had told you not to come back.
So which one is that, Your Honor?
21545 OM.
Okay.
Are you still living with your brother over there on Constantine Street?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how's that going?
It's going well.
Yeah, you're not from here, but you're welcome here. I grew up here. My mother grew up not very far from where you are now. And you're welcome to be here for the next 100 years, as far as I'm concerned. But we gotta control your mental health issues. Now, you got some jail credit. I don't even know how many days you've spent.
I spent like 89 days in jail.
Altogether. Well, I'm gonna just give you on this one 7 days credit, 7. I'm gonna waive the fine and costs. I'm gonna waive the probation oversight fee, which I'm not supposed to do. And I'm gonna do the state minimum fee. I'm gonna put you on probation for 1 year, which you could complete this in 12 months. All right.
Your Honor, do we have a name and a number for a contact person for the ACT team that I can be in contact with if anything comes up?
Yes, let me finish this. All right, the condition is you take all meds as prescribed. Cooperate with CMH. Sign a release. There's no reason why we can't have a nice calm summer. You can live your life here in Three Rivers and everybody will get along and that'll be good. $125 is due in 1 year as part of the probation. I'm waiving the oversight fee, which is a big deal, and I'm waiving the fine, and I'm waiving your attorney fee. So all you owe is the minimum $125.
All right.
I know you, but I want to put your name on the record. You're with him from the ACT team. What's your name?
Oh, Kimberly Foltz, FULTZ.
Are you his supervising worker?
I'm not the supervising worker. I'm just the peer on ACT, but I can give you, I'm looking up this chart to make sure I give you the right person. I believe it's Teresa.
Yeah, it's Teresa.
Yeah, it's Teresa Scott.
All right.
I'll give you a phone number.
Well, just
you could call
we'll
CMH.
All right.
And they'll direct
If you could just, let me just do this. If you could just give me a call, Ms. Foltz.
Oh,
and
sure.
And just let me know, while we're not on the public record, what the name and number of the ACT team leader is. If anything else comes up, then I'd be able to call you guys, and
right.
Perhaps it would be possible to handle it informally without getting the court involved.
And probation department is going to contact you, Mr. Valentine, regarding this, and we'll use that same contact information. All right. Thank you, Tyrone. I'm glad to see you doing so much better.
All right, sir.
And I'll see you around. Next time, don't wear a beer shirt.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's not a big deal. It's not a drinking driving offense. But I've had that before. All right. You're good to go. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Does he want to talk to you at all?
All right, so we got some work to do on that one, but that's a good. And John, it took about 15 cases off your caseload.
Yeah. I've got a 1-inch thick stack of cases here.
All right, did that resolve everything for you this morning?
No, I've got another person, defendant Sally Powers. She
Yes,
has Paul Gibson
case.
on one case and Melissa Halleck on another.
Well, all right, stick around for a moment. Let's take care of Melissa's plea on Mr. Hanson, and then we'll address some of these other matters. Mr. Andrews. Mr. Hanson, we don't have Sally. And let's see if this is her.
Hello,
Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
Mr. Jason Walters, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Walters, we've been waiting for you. I'm going to ask your lawyer to come back.
My notes say that he was not entering a plea, so I guess I'm not sure what we need to do with Mr. Walters' case.
Well, I'll ask Lori to come back. There's a lot going on here. All right, I've got Jason Walters. Mr. Walters, I'm going to put you in the waiting room while we wait for your lawyer to rejoin us.
Okay.
All right, Jamila, just keep hanging out where you are. We'll get to you in a moment.
Okay.
This is Adrian Andrews. The file number is 21884OD. Mr. Andrews is charged with operating while intoxicated. The prosecutor has agreed to reduce it to a charge of impaired driving. Let me explain that, Mr. UCAB Andrews. Driving while intoxicated, they used to just call it drunk driving, is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 6 points on your driving record and requires that your license be suspended. Prosecutors agreed to reduce it to a charge of impaired driving. That's a lesser charge. Carries 4 points, maximum fine of $300 plus costs. But most importantly, allows you to keep a restricted driver's license to drive back and forth to work as opposed to an outright suspended license. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, I do.
And Melissa, is that your understanding of the plea agreement? You're on mute.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, now I'll go through this for you and Mr. Lard and Jamila. Do you understand that if you plead to this, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Halleck has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, a judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. I know this. I read it on a mug somewhere, and I give it to people here every day. Are you going to plead to the lesser charge of impaired driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you driving a car in Sturgis on April 27th?
Yes.
Where were you going?
I was headed home.
From where?
From work.
Where were you drinking?
It was after hours, after we had closed at the bar. Excuse me, at the bar. at the front of the place. And
what bar was that?
Wings, etc.
Okay.
I worked as a cook.
And what were you drinking?
Tequila, 2 shots.
Give me 2 shots of Jose Cuervo, 10 shots. All right. What was the blood alcohol, Melissa?
I have the paperwork here. It's at 0.15.
All right, that's sufficient. What are you doing now?
I am working on trying to get myself into a different job.
All right, we'll talk
being
more
around
about
alcohol is not working for me.
Well, that's wise. This is fairly common. People that work in the restaurant industry will have a couple drinks after work, which you aren't supposed to do under a liquor license, and then they end up getting arrested. And then maybe I never see them again because they figured out they don't want to do that anymore. Melissa, are you available on June 28th at 11? That's a Monday morning.
Have a divorce pretrial.
All right, well, let's look a little farther out. What time is that?
11.
All right, well, that won't work. Could you do it 10:30 that morning?
Yeah.
All right, let's set this for June 28th at 10:30. Squeeze it in there and get you in your other thing. All right, Mr. Andrews, you seem like a very intelligent, thoughtful young man. I'll hear more about what happened that night, hear about what your employment issues are, and we'll make a decision as to the sentence on June 28th at 10:30. Are you still on Elaine Drive?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll see you on June 28th. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll be in touch.
All right. We'll remove him. All right, now, I got Mr. Walter in the waiting room. I'm waiting for Lori to come back. We've got Jamila and Mr. Lard. I don't have Jamila's file. Here it is now.
I haven't been able to talk to Mr. Lard. I don't know if there's a way for me to get a
Well,
phone number
let's
for
take
him.
care of Jamila first, and then I'll put you in a breakout room with Mr. Lard.
Okay.
Her offer is to a disturbing the peace, but I haven't got to talk to her about it. I only had
an
address for her.
All right. Well, Jamila.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with assault and battery. It's alleged that on or about May 13th, you assaulted someone named Alexis Maggart. Assault and battery is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The prosecutors agreed to dismiss that charge to a non-assaultive offense called disturbing the peace. Disturbing the peace is an old-fashioned simple misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Almost always results in a fine only. And it doesn't matter who was right or wrong or who started it, but was there a quarrel, argument, or disturbance in a public place? Would you like to talk to your attorney about this?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me close out these other rooms and reopen it. I get confused when I try to do more than one, so I'm going to just do one. And Mr. Lard, you can wait just a moment. She's been patient, and maybe this can resolve this case. Jamila and Melissa. All right, Ms. Hines has rejoined us. Mr. Walters, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is file 20272. And 273. $274. You're charged with no insurance, driving suspended, and no valid license plates. And Ms. Hines is your attorney. Ms. Hines, I guess I didn't know if it was a plea here or what was going to happen.
I have a.
Just a minute, Mr. Walter. We'll hear from you in a second. I'm asking your lawyer.
I didn't have an offer to give to him when I talked to him. I had one from Attorney Reed, but I did not have one from the county. So I wasn't able to tell him what the offer would be. And now I have one. So I guess we can tell him that and decide. He can decide what he wants to do, Your Honor.
All right. What is your understanding of the plea offer?
My understanding of the plea offer is in the county case, no insurance under the insurance code and driving my license suspended. They are willing to offer driving my license suspended and drop the no insurance. And then the no valid license plate to the city of Sturgis, that was as charged.
Mark, are you done?
I think so.
All right. Mr. Lard, the plea offer would be to dismiss the Mr. Walter, dismiss the 1-year misdemeanor offense of no insurance. That carries a minimum fine of $200 for a plea to driving suspended and no valid plate. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail. I believe I've got bond here. I've got $200 bond. $200 bond, and I think I got $600 worth of bond. So there should be more than enough money to pay your fines and costs. This would result in the suspension of your driving privileges for an additional period of time. Do you know what you wish to do here?
I have proof I had insurance on my motorcycle and my truck for and a policy.
Well, they're dismissing that charge. So they must have believed you. Are you willing to plead to the other 2 charges? Or do you want me to set these matter for further proceedings?
I'd like to go farther with a proceeding on trying to get this dropped because technically I was coming home from the farm where I bought the truck down the road and I parked it at my farm at M66 67101 and I had picked that.
You might not want to make any more additional.
Yeah, don't. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah.
But let's take a look.
I'm not opposed to.
Stop. Just a minute while I get what I'm looking for here. Some of these are ordinance and some are state statute. And let's take a look at his driving record. Yeah, everybody wants to get their case dropped, but it's a matter of whether the prosecutor is willing to just say, well, okay, I'm going to drop it. That doesn't happen very much. Let's take a look at your driving record and see what the issues are. If I can find it. Here it is. Your license, for one thing, is expired.
Expired. Wow.
It is expired. Mr. Walters, your license has been suspended since $1999.
1999. Oh wow, that would have been number 2.
So, all right. Well, it's not very likely they're going to just dismiss it. You've got a lot of baggage on there, and you haven't had a license for many years. So the prosecutor has agreed to dismiss the insurance charge, which carries a minimum fine of $200 plus the state fee of $325. Apparently, they believed they had insurance, but your license was clearly suspended. So you don't have to plead to that if you don't wish to. We can set it for trial, but I don't think it'd be very hard for them to prove it. What would you like to do? And you've got more than enough money to pay the fine. You'd probably even get some money back.
I really was trying to get my license out of this or something, because back in 2008, you said the reinstatement fees were going to be lifted and all this.
They were, finally.
That was back in 2009, you told me this, and I just have not had the ability to get all my ducks in a row from getting off of probation from the 2012 incident of that last drinking and driving 10 years ago.
Well, you've got two of them. So you're going to have to prove to the Driver License Appeal Division that you're eligible to get it back. And so far, you've done exactly 0 in the last 9 years to work on getting it back. So I don't know what to tell you. If you don't wish to plead, you don't have to. But if you do plead, it's going to make it more difficult for you to get your license back.
Yeah, it will.
I will say it appears that he was eligible for review through the License Bureau as of December 14th of 2013. So he would have to go through that review process. But if he wants to reset this for a final pretrial to attempt that, I'm not unwilling to do something with this license if he gets it back.
All right, I'll set a last pretrial. Defendant to explore license restoration.
I'm just not certain how restorations are going with the Secretary of State being overwhelmed with everything else.
They're going very slowly, and he's got a lot of headwind to overcome to get it. Again, if I were king of the world, I'd give people a restricted license so they get back and forth to work, but I ain't king of nothing. And so, all right, Mr. Walters, we'll set this for a last pretrial. You haven't done anything in the last 12 years. You might want to start the process of seeing what you need to do to get it. But yeah, what I told you was accurate. It took longer than I had hoped to do away with those stupid driver responsibility fees, but eventually they did. All right, you're good to go. Thank you. You'll get a new notice. Okay. Thank you, Lori.
Yep, thanks.
Lucy wasn't a no-show. All right, I think Jamila is stuck in the breakout room, so I got to bring her back, and then I got to send Paul and Mr. Lard into the breakout room so they can talk. Mr. Lard, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right, as soon as Jamila comes back here, I will reconfigure the breakout room and let you have an opportunity to talk to your lawyer.
Okay.
Takes me 60 seconds to close this. 28 seconds. We're adding these minutes up. The time in my life I spent waiting for the breakout room to close. We decided it's about a day so far. It's all in 1 minute. All right. She's back. All right. Give me just a moment here.
Hold on, little girl.
All right. Now I'm going to put Mr. Lard and Mr. Gibson in a breakout room. One case at a time. All right. Paul, I'll see you in a few minutes. We're talking once again with Jamila McFerrin. she's got her hands full there.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And Melissa, what's our decision here?
Your Honor, we're gonna ask that this be set for a last pretrial, and there's video footage from body cams from both officers. This was a three-of-us case, as well as 911 call, and Pizza Hut has their own video. So she's indicated that, you know, she has completely different story, that she didn't touch anyone and there was no yelling. So I can't even establish a disturbance at this point. So
so do you have all that stuff, Deborah?
Request that. I'll get that requested today from the prosecutor.
All right. I guess the biggest would be the Pizza Hut video where it all went down.
To my knowledge, we don't have the Pizza Hut video, but the defendant herself was videotaping on her phone during the incident, according to the police report, but that hasn't been provided. If it's still,
that's a good.
Have you got something on your phone to share with your lawyer?
I believe I did, because I didn't like how they was treating me, and I wanted to file a complaint with corporate with them, so I did start reporting it.
All right, well, share that with your lawyer. That would go a way to help this. All right, we're going to set a last trial.
I would state for the record, though, I don't have the Pizza Hut video or the video from the defendant, and those would be on the defense to get. If they want the Pizza Hut video, I will get the body cams. I don't have them right now, but we should be able to get those from evidence.com probably today. But as far as getting the Pizza Hut video, if the defense wants it, they can request it from Pizza Hut and get it.
Okay, because they just show all three angles and no physical altercation. If we can get both officers, one was on my left, one was on my right, and the woman that was handing me the cash was in the front. So it'll show all three angles.
Okay.
What about the 911 call?
I don't have that. What was the date of this? 5/13. It should still be available. You can request it from Central Dispatch if you would like.
Okay.
All right. Jamila, thank you for your patience. You got a young child there with you. I'm going to release you. Stay in contact with your lawyer, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We got it. Yes, let's talk about Sally Powers.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hanson? Problem is I don't have Paul Gibson here. Do you have the ability to get a hold of Miss Powers, Mr. Hanson?
I did talk to her this morning. She has called me on 3 different cell phones this morning because she was kicked out of Baymont Motel for a disturbance. And
could you get her to call into the court?
I did just send all the Zoom information to the last phone number. Of course, those phone numbers are not her phone. I think they're strangers.
Well, we've known Sally for many years and known her struggles. And I won't get into any more of it without her lawyer. John, is there a plea offer here that we could document while we wait?
Yes, on case number 21-733OM, the notice for today shows that Melissa Halleck is her attorney on that one. And that was an incident that happened on April 8, 2021 at Broadway Market. That was a trespass. She had been previously been given a no trespass order. And then the other case file set for today was 21-1035OM. That's a disorderly person on May 18th, 2021, and that's a Paul Gibson case. So what I'm thinking is,
well, there's two more. There's 21-926, which is a trespass, which is Paul Gibson. That's Sturgis. And then there's another one, 21-1083, retail fraud, which is a county case, Ms. Davis. So, Melissa, have you had any contact with her?
No, Your Honor, I haven't. And I actually, on my file, I show that I only have her disorder with Barnes City.
So my offer today would be if she pleads guilty in the 21-733 OM case, disorderly person that happened on April 8, 2021 at Broadway Market, that Melissa Halleck is representing her on, I would offer to dismiss the case in 21-1035 OM that Paul Gibson represents her on, that happened on May 18th.
All right, John, you can go on your business, and if she shows up, but we got a bunch of stuff we can't do. I don't know what TJ's deal is. And Sally's not here, which is par for the course.
Melissa, you could just get a hold of me if she decides to accept that offer. Would you let me know?
Yep.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right. Mr. Hanson, you got a very difficult job. And my recollection is she gets her money at the first of the month, and then she spends it all, and then by the end of the month she's homeless again. Her cases were set for 10/15. She doesn't know about them. What usually happens is she doesn't show up, she gets picked up on a bench warrant, and then we talk to her from the jail.
Your Honor, if I may, she has been homeless for 3 years. 3 years ago, she was able to actually stay in a motel for a period of time, but she has gotten worse and worse to the point where she can't even stay in a motel one night. She usually gets kicked out before the end of the first night.
Well, and she has resources. But yes, as a result of her difficulties. So
But she was aware of these hearings. I gave her all the paperwork 2 weeks ago.
Where are you physically located?
I work out of the Gull Road office in Kalamazoo. Right now I'm in my home office.
What's the name of your company?
Guardian Finance and Advocacy Services.
Is her workers' comp case still, or that disability settlement still paying, or is that done?
That settlement will continue to pay until she's 65 years old.
And does she also get Social Security disability?
No, she does not.
Just this settlement?
Yes, which increases over time. It's up to $4,500 a month now.
All right. Well, you've waited here all morning. It may have been an educational process to see a little bit about how arraignments and pretrials work in St. Joe County. I'm sure you've got more to do here. So I'm going to release you.
Before so,
yes.
Is she able to get a ID card from the state of Michigan? That was kind of what precipitated the retail fraud that I have for us today. She was attempting to buy alcohol, didn't have an ID card. She just had a photocopy of her ID card. So I don't think it's a money issue for the drinks, but it was If she could have an ID card, it might help.
Yes, I can pursue that. I did get her last ID card, which she lost in less than a month. But I did make that photocopy before I gave it to her.
Gotcha. Let her know she can't use that at the show.
Does she have any contact with her family?
Her father, Richard Powers, who I talk to probably 3 or 4 times a week.
So he's still involved.
He has cut her off. He is going to Al-Anon.
Well, I don't want to get into too much of that here on the public record.
But
I just wondered
he has learned that he can't be too involved.
All right. Well, she's a very sad case. She's got resources, but Kalamazoo says she's Centerville's, and Centerville says she's Kalamazoo's, and she's been falling through the cracks. She has resources, and for the last 3 years, she's been homeless, and we should all be ashamed. We should be able to find a solution for this woman, and we've been unable to do it during the entire time I've been here, including before I was judge.
Does she have a guardian or just a conservator?
Just a conservator, and that was my question this morning, actually. Do you think she should have a guardian?
I've felt that way for years.
Somebody would just have to petition for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did finally convince Richard to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm going to release you. Melissa, I'm just going to do a show cause, which will be a failure, but then we'll do a warrant. But she's like a leaf in the wind. And the true fact, she'll probably get arrested again in the next day or two on something else. She just is in a sad shape. All right, Mr. Hanson, thank you for the background information. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm doing an order to show cause, which she won't respond to.
I don't even know where you can send it really to her.
Let's see here. Let's see what she got if it needs to appear. No, I'm going to do a bench warrant with a 48-hour hold. All files. Bond $100 cash or surety per file. She has income in excess of $50,000 a year, and or she should not be homeless. Her issues are mental health issues. All right, Melissa, do we have anything else we need to do with your cases?
Where's Adrian? What about Nicole Anthony? Did we say she was on the show?
Who?
Nicole Anthony. I have her on a driving with license suspended with Howard Bush, and she knows she would.
All right, let's see here. Do you have any contact with her?
No.
She's missed several other hearings. A bench warrant, $250 cash or surety, 48-hour hold. Is that everything?
Yes.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
She was here. She got no show, no show, no show. She showed up at the wrong time. All right. Let me see if I have a phone number for her.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have a phone number for her.
Well, why don't you try and call her? I don't have one.
Oh, I don't have. That's what I meant.
Okay. All right.
You don't
Thank
either.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank- All right, I hope Paul's not lost there in the breakout room, but we're down to our last case of Eric Lard. Deborah, if you could find a solution for Sally Powers, that would be Nobel Prize material.
He is the poster child for why we have guardians and conservators for adults. We could get the guardianship going. This might be an APS.
It is an APS. It's very frustrating. She keeps going to jail for minor things.
Right. The one I have, I mean, not that I want her having alcohol, but it could have been avoided. And it's sad. So hopefully we can figure something out.
Well, we had a lighter day. We didn't have Luke. We didn't have TJ. And so for first Friday, second Friday, this is July 1st, however, is going to be very busy. What is the offer on Mr. Lard? Is there one?
I believe there is. Let me back to that screen. Larceny under 200.
All right, so let's wait here for Mr. Gibson. I'm going to clear some of this stuff out of here. I don't hold a lot of hope for Mr. Walter to have much success with the driver license appeal division, but you never know. What did we do with Joshua Warren?
That one looks like, except for last retrial.
How about Stuart Udvardy? He did plead to those felony charges in circuit court. Did that take care?
I don't have him on for today.
Let's see, these might be ordinance cases. I can't see them.
You know, when you say that, I think they are, yeah. So I don't know what TJ's going to do with those.
All right, I guess we'll. That was nice to get Sean Moore resolved. So thank you for your assistance with that one. I can't get him a license either.
I was going to suggest a bike or a horse and buggy, but I just waited.
I don't know what to tell.
There's no good answer.
You know, and the people just get so frustrated that they just give up, and then what happened to Kobe Harris?
I didn't even talk to anybody about it. So, and see if Casey did over in pre-trials. I think it's probably just set for trial, try to package everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so just says LPT.
Okay.
I don't think he's had a status conference yet upstairs.
No, they're so backed up. I had a nice conversation with him the last time I talked to him, and he seems to have his head on straighter. Boy. I don't know how we always end up with Paul last. We end up doing this. All right, I got rid of a bunch of things. Nicole Anthony was no contact with attorney. I call him a guardian, he's a conservator.
I mean, do you want to just like close the breakout room so it gives them that 60-second?
I will, yes.
Wrap it up.
I'll be here till lunchtime.
Right.
All right. Mr. Lard, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I closed the breakout room. One of the reasons why we asked that you contact your attorney in advance is so we don't have to sit here and rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic while you guys discuss things. But we're going to go back to file 21224SM, People versus Eric Walter Lard. The charge is larceny over $200 but less than $1,000. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Prosecutors agreed to reduce that to a charge of larceny less than $200, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Mr. Gibson, have you had an opportunity to discuss that plea offer with your client?
I did, Your Honor, and it's my understanding the defendant does want to accept the plea offer, but I would ask the court and the prosecuting attorney if they would have any objection to a no contest plea.
That's fine.
All right. Yeah, that's acceptable.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lard, let's talk about this. The plea agreement is to dismiss the bigger charge for the smaller charge, larceny under $200. By pleading no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened, and you allow or accept that a conviction will enter. And this could not be used against you in a civil action. I do have an affidavit of probable cause that was sworn to by Officer Christopher Greenhalgh of the Three Rivers Police Department. So I would use that for the factual basis. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I went through the advice of rights a couple of times while you were waiting. Do you understand you have those same rights?
Yes, sir.
All right. Other than the plea agreement here, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
Nope.
Or threaten you?
No, sir.
All right. You seem pretty straightforward. I appreciate that. Are you willing to plead no contest to the charge of larceny less than $200?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. The affidavit here says that they got a complaint from the Sunoco station, which used to be the old Clark station, 715 West Michigan Avenue. And this woman, who is the complainant, she's left her cell phone on a counter near a display, and that you came in and picked up her cell phone and walked out.
Yep.
And you guys actually knew each other.
Well,
just a minute.
Okay.
Then you brought the phone back and gave it to her. So the phone was returned, so it wasn't stolen very long. Deborah, what are you looking for here?
Well, Your
Just let me
Honor.
add something else. Mr. Lard has an unpaid driving suspended charge. He owes $325 or 4 days in jail. It was due by January 17th, but we aren't doing bench warrants right now because of COVID. So we could. You could do 4 days in jail and wipe out that fine. This doesn't seem like a crime of the century here. The phone was taken and then was given back. What's the prosecutor asking for?
Well, I think this really boils down to the dishonesty on his part about it, from what the witnesses are reporting, that he knew that it wasn't just a mislaid piece of property. It was the young girl's phone, and he bragged about it to somebody outside the store, which is what triggered mom to
I want to see
know.
the statement. I want to see the statement where I bragged about it.
It's in the police report.
I didn't brag about it. I brought it back as soon as I found out that it was their phone.
All right, well, just a minute,
I didn't
Mr.
know
Lard.
the girl.
Mr. Lard, just a minute. I'll come to, I'd mute your phone, but you won't be able to unmute it. So just remain quiet. I'll give you a chance to speak.
So then the young girls, because the daughters of the gas station attendant and Mr. Lard know each other, were Facebook messaging or some such social media messaging. And his daughter, Mr. Lard's daughter, admitted that he had the phone and tried to say that he didn't take it purposefully, but then it just kind of went back and forth. There's just a lot of dishonesty about this. And it boils down to, either some fines and costs or a couple of days in jail if he's not paying his fines and costs, so that he doesn't do this again to someone.
Mr. Gibson, anything you'd like me to know?
Your Honor, the defendant has a fairly minimal criminal history. There was the driving with license suspended, but it's my understanding that back over 10 years ago when he was younger, he may have had some things that he got in trouble for, but he's been a law-abiding citizen. He's got a family, he works, and so he did, I understand that there's a dispute as to the what actually happened, but I mean, I suppose if we take the prosecution's theory that he's being dishonest about this, it isn't though disputed that he did bring the phone back within approximately 20 minutes of the phone being missing. So although it can be argued that he had a bad intent, if he did, it was within about 20 minutes that he realized that he just needed to return it. So he did. So he did do the right thing. And so I would ask the court to order fines and costs with the idea that he needs to get both cases' financial obligations paid for soon here.
Yeah.
So I suppose he's going to have to call the clerk's office unless he can pay that $325 quickly to see if he get an extension on that. Thank you.
All right, let me take a look here. Mr. Lard, do you have your license back?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I paid the the $325 like the day after I found out that it was suspended. It was suspended for 3.5 hours when I got pulled over. I was taking my cousin home from work when I got pulled over.
So you've paid that ticket?
Yeah.
Okay.
The day,
maybe
I want to say the day after. I want to say it was the day after that I got pulled over.
well, you got a no proof of insurance ticket in April.
Yep. That was when because I had just bought a vehicle and I didn't have insurance and whatnot on it, and
That one's pending. Now this
I got.
one's, all right, Jenny, I'll put this one on you. Can you tell me whether Eric Lard has paid the unpaid fines and costs and filed 20288, or excuse me, 202811 ST? I'm going to get out of it so you guys can get in it. 202811 ST. Where are you working now, Mr. Lard?
Currently I am not actually working. I'm in between jobs, but I have a license that I just renewed from losing my wallet, and I had no problems in replacing it, and they never said nothing about it still being suspended.
Well, we didn't enter a suspension, but I told you to pay $325 by January 17th or do 4 days in jail. And as far as I can tell, you never paid it. And then you got this no proof of insurance from April, which is also still hanging out there.
When I got the no proof of insurance, there was a warrant for my arrest for that driving while suspended license, right? Okay. I believe.
All right.
I paid it. I'll have to check with my dad because my dad loaned me the money to pay it, and it'll be in his bank record.
So when you got the no proof of insurance on April 24th, you paid off.
It's still outstanding.
All right, it has not been paid. It has not been paid.
Okay. Then how do I? Then how is my license not still suspended?
We didn't suspend it because of that. We could.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't because of COVID. I didn't. So, do you want to just do this week? It's supposed to be hot. You could do this weekend in jail, starting tonight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Or you want to pay your damn fines?
I can pay my whole fines when I get paid again next week.
All right. Well, all right, I'm going to do.
Yep.
I'm going to set this out for a bit to see if you pay your fines. Otherwise, I'll just put you in jail, and then we'll wipe out the fines, and everyone will be happy. All right. I'm going to set
next week.
All right, in 202811 ST. No, I didn't do a suspension. There's two kinds. There's a FAC suspension. That stands for failure to answer citation. If you don't show up on a ticket, they suspend your license. The other one is called an FCJ suspension, which stands for failing to comply with judgment. That means you were found responsible or guilty and you didn't pay the ticket. That's what that is. But I haven't moved to suspend your license. In the old days, we would have picked you up on a bench warrant. You would have done 4 days in jail. But I would much rather get the fine paid than have you sit in jail for 4 days. But in point of fact, you've blown it off since last January. So I'm going to set this for sentence for June 28th.
just to be clear, I don't have his driving record in this because this wasn't a driving related case.
Yeah,
I don't know if he has a license back or not. I don't want him to think that.
I don't know that, but I do know that he got a no proof of insurance ticket in April and they didn't charge him with driving suspended.
Okay.
June 28th at 10:30. All right, Mr. Lard, we'll see if you can pay off that other stuff, clear the slate, and then we'll deal with this. Mr. Gibson, does that date work for you?
Well, could it be at maybe 11 a.m. or 11:15? Because I have a short, it looks like pretrial with Judge Pattison for a divorce at 10:30.
All right, let's set it for 11:15.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lard, are you still over on South Street?
Yes, sir.
Is that out in Flowerfield?
Yep.
Okay.
So is it 15441?
No, don't. Yeah, that's,
Oh,
we're trying not to put people's address out over the live feed.
oh, okay.
So, we're just confirming it. He's a local guy and I've dealt with him before. Were you living out there when the murder happened out there?
Actually, no, I wasn't. That happened right next door to my uncle's property and across the street from my dad's property.
Well, I'm glad you missed out on that. All right, Mr. Lard, get your ducks in a row, get your fines paid, and we'll have another discussion on June 28th at 11:15. It will be by Zoom once again.
Okay.
All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Deborah, thank you for your help. Paul, is there anything else we need to do here?
I don't believe so. I guess there
All
was a failure to appear by a, with the last name Powers, Melissa.
Oh, yes, we made a record with Melissa while you were in the breakout room. Her conservator was here, where she has been struggling for a long time. She's homeless and has been for some time, but she has substantial resources. She has a settlement that pays her thousands of dollars each month, but so we can't do a show cause because we don't even know where to send it. Her guardian or her conservator was on the phone with her this morning several times, told her to come. So I have done bench warrants on all files with a 48-hour hold. So she lost her phone, she was borrowing a phone, she lost ID, but if you do have any contact with her, have her log in on Monday and we can forestall the warrants. But she is a sparrow in a hurricane and we never know quite how to get a hold of her. So that was what we did with those.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Deborah, for that long morning, and thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. You guys have a good weekend.
All right. That will be all of our court for today. We will be, I don't have any other proceedings scheduled. So I'll stop the live feed after a long morning.